Everybody, welcome to Grow Your Life. I want to talk to you today about the motivation behind your business. What motivates you behind what you do? The word motivation comes from locomotion, motion, forward motion, what pushes you, what drives you. And you have to get clear on this. Yet many people say one thing and then do another in the marketplace, and that disconnect is actually holding them back, putting a damper on what they're going after. Are you clear on what the motivation behind what you do is? Are you clear on that with yourself? I want you to be real honest with yourself. Inside of you, dig deep inside of you and ask, what is my motivation behind why I do this? Whatever that is, it's different for everybody. Listen, we're not all supposed to have the same motivation. We're not all supposed to have the same thing that drives us. We're not all going to have that, but eventually we do start to come together and it becomes bigger than us. Is it self-serving? Is it that you do something in business, you go out there, you put something out there, you serve others so that you can get back for yourself, so that you can get something yourself and put it in your pocket? Or is it greater than you? Is it generational for you, your family's legacy, your children, your children's children? If you're building a business, your employees' children, your employees' children's children, your customers' children, and your customers' children's children. Whatever that is, what is your motivation behind that? If it's just to make a profit, and listen, I've heard very successful people say this, that you should only care about just making a profit. The motivation, how people feel, whatever that is, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is all that matters. I think that's a lie that's been sold to us. It's also why I think a lot of people have a misconception about those that make a lot of money because of what their motivation is. If you want to go further than those that came before you, get very clear on your motivation and possibly shift it away from just you to how you can have a generational impact, something bigger than you, something greater, something that outlives you, something that goes further than you. And if you start from that place, start from that bigger place, it could just be your grandchildren. All of us can have that. Or if you don't have children, your friends' grandchildren, in fact, that you have on friends, community, something like that. It's important to build that, to build something that's bigger than just you. When you listen, you can make $100,000. If your vision is just you and you personally, you'll always make just enough for you and maybe those that are around you. But if your vision is bigger than you, bigger than just what I can do for me, what I can do for self, what I can do to reach my goals, and then you shift it to how can I help somebody else reach their goals, which, by the way, I want to put a pause on that. I've seen a lot of people say, well, I want to help others reach their goals, but really the only reason they want to help people reach their goals is so that they can reach their selfish goals. If the only reason that you're serving others is to serve yourself, your motivation is still selfish. And I want to call that out right there. I want to say, even, personally, I've struggled with that, and I've shifted my mindset over the years, plugging into the word, staying focused in prayer, focusing on what God has called me to, focus on what I was made for, what I was called for. And I think it's bigger and greater than just me personally. And I think that's the same thing for other people as well. If your motives are just for you, that's the utility behind helping others. And that's great. And that'll take you far. That'll take you so far. You'll make millions and even billions of dollars with selfish ambition. That happens. But then what happens when the money disappears? What happens after that? Were you fulfilled, or did you live a life that only had a dollar sign at the end of it? We look at great magnates of business over time, over history, that make a positive impact. They help others, but at the end of their life, we're left with just a product. People's lives weren't shifted, and maybe somebody else carried the torch after and took it further. And that's great and all that. Have vision, have motivation that's bigger than just you, bigger than what you can do for yourself. If you're building a company, making more than 6 figures to make 7 figures is to impact your employees' lives, to impact a greater audience than that. And my goal is to help create people that make millions of dollars. That's my business goal, is to help others do that. First and foremost, because I believe that if thousands of people made millions of dollars, they could have more impact than myself alone making it on the planet. And so if I can help others do that, I will be taken care of. I know that. But my goal first and foremost is not just taking care of my family. It's greater than that. It's bigger than that. It's vision. It's eternal vision as well. What are your motives behind your business? What are the motives behind why you do what you do? Behind where you go, where you put your feet in front of another? And this will help you know what your purpose, what your calling, what your destiny is to walk towards that. When you align those dreams, those visions, those goals for what you were made for, God created you, and you connect that. You connect your dreams to God's, and you partner with heaven. Nothing is impossible, but we don't use God for the utility of what he can do for us, but rather what we can do for him and for humanity for generations. And this is just personally for me where I have a heart of. This doesn't have to be yours as well. Yours doesn't have to be generationally for all of that. It doesn't have to be that right now. I don't want you to feel guilt or shame if it's not either. I want to say this. If yours is just to get out of debt, just to get out of a job that you don't like, just to do something greater than what your parents or your grandfather, or, to make a better life for your kids, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's the first step. That's the first step. And then the next step, you got to have a vision that's higher and bigger and above you, just above what you're personally doing today. And I see people, they get overwhelmed. They're like, oh, I can't see that big. I can't see that far. I can't see that far out for myself. And I want to say that's okay. Don't feel shame or guilt by that. Have the focus and the vision on what you can do now, but have it not just be about you personally. Have it be about those that are around you, community, your family. And then from there, the impact that they have. And that's what influence is. What is the motivation behind what you do in your business, in your ministry, in your life? Get real clear about it. Be honest with yourself. Is it the same as what you're telling everybody else? Or is it not? Are you lying to yourself about what it is? Or are you being truthful with yourself? And I want you to make sure that you come into alignment. You get clear on this. What motivates you? And maybe you need to shift that. Maybe you need to change that. Maybe you need to decide, wow, I haven't been doing this for the right motives. I need to really press into that. And I want to encourage you that that's okay. It's a safe place to do that. There's people that start at multiple levels, different levels. I don't want to discredit anybody, whether if you're on welfare, homeless, or you're making millions of dollars, whatever that is, the whole gambit in income, money doesn't mean anything. It just allows us to do more and impact more people. And so for you to go out there, it's none of this. Growing your life is never about what you can do for you personally, but how you can have an impact that's greater than you. And that's what I want to encourage you to do, is to press into this. Look real deep into it. What motivates you? What is the motivation behind why you do what you do? And then follow that path. Nothing can stop you when you have a vision. Nothing can get in your way. No fear, no shame, no guilt, no doubt, no worry can when you have clear vision of where you're going. Do you have clear vision? I want to encourage you to look into that, press into that. What is the motivation behind your business? And people say this, how do you stay motivated? Intentionality, being intentional. Keeping that vision in front of you, keeping it right in front of your face where you're going at all times. And then pressing forward every single day with consistency, with discipline, and with diligence. Have a good one, everybody. Grow your life, and we'll talk soon.